Good morning. How are you? Today is Thursday, and I know most of us say, hey, I can't wait for the weekend. Anyway, I hope you're all well, and thank you for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Also, I want to mention that when I do presentation, and in this case, it's the science of the fear, animal behavior in extreme situations. We don't want anybody, humans, animals, those from other planets, we don't want them to be in fear. But understandably, animals sometimes are afraid because they have, let's say something's come up that's never come up before, an animal they've never seen before, a calamity in reference to flooding or fire. Unfortunately, the LA fires are one example that the animals that were there would be so afraid and not know what to do. And it's not even great that humans get afraid of things. And that would be the same action result for those that were in the LA fires. Even though they're on a higher intellectual understanding, it still would make it an easy on them. But animals just don't know because then they're not used to some of the things that can happen in the environment. And we hope that they don't have to go through this. And my little Jamie, I talk about her all the time. We always try to make sure she's not afraid of anything, or we do something that she just doesn't understand. So, that's the whole truth of it. Okay, unveiling animal survival instincts. The fight or flight response. We have that, animals have that, where they get very afraid and they want to run away. And quite honestly, the body itself gets influenced by that action because of the fear and the amount of energy that has to be put forth for, if the animal, let's say, is in a fire and going to get out of the fire. They can't just sit there and go, well, it's going to burn around me. No, they'll run and we hope that they will get done or get out of the situation. This instinctive reaction is a fundamental survival mechanism. Freeze response. This is a lesser known but crucial tactic for animals, allowing them to avoid detection. Now, looking at the picture, what animal would not be, or even humans would not be afraid if you saw this monster coming after you, chasing you? And probably it would be a lot faster than you would be. So even us humans would be afraid. So some animals play dead. And again, as I've said all through my presentations, animals are wonderful at knowing things that you might feel they wouldn't know. And one of them is playing dead. And that's even an example of when, there's, you're in the Colorado Rockies and you find that you come upon a grizzly bear. Now, if you don't have bear spray, and it would be nice if they go away without you needing to spray them with bear spray, if they're gonna, you got to kind of count on that they're probably going to come after you, and they'll know you are there before you know they are there. So if you don't have the bear spray, you can't outrun a grizzly bear generally. You probably can't climb a tree fast enough. So as much as animals can feign death to deter predators and buy themselves time to escape, you can do the same thing. And they might say, play dead with that bear. Human being, a bear's there, and you don't know what to do and you don't have bear spray. Sometimes playing dead will work. But confronting them or trying to outrun them, it's not going to happen. And if you confront them, it's going to be a problem. If you run away, they're going to chase you and probably catch you. So there's almost no solution. By the way, thank you to all those that are here with me. Thank you. Shenelson 96, Lax King, Liam Cool Vlogs. Thank you. You always make me feel like I've had the party has started and people are starting to show up. So thank you very much. Okay, Beyond Instinct, the science of animal adaptability. I mean, my phenomenal, how would you say, appreciation for what animals can do. Environmental cues. Animals rely on changes in their environment, such as a scent, sound, and visual signals to detect danger. And when you see a mama bear, let's use bears as an example, a mama bear and a daddy bear, and they've got some young, they will do anything to help protect them. As human parents will. I have a profound appreciation for mothers and fathers, but mothers, and then of course in the animal world, the mothers, they're there for you. And my mother was always there for me. Every night I just say, thank you. She died about, oh my heavens, 30 years ago. Wow, that ages me. Another way of them dealing with this problem is camouflage. Many species have evolved incredible camouflage abilities. Hello, AMG 47. Anyway, yeah, I know it is AI, but it's hard to find. And I use Leonardo AI. I use Gemini and others for verbiage. And admittedly, sometimes I admit some of the images are different. And the title of the request that I put in, or the prompt, was animals that were afraid, which is the topic. So anyway, I don't choose everything that comes out, but I do choose some of them. Many species have evolved incredible camouflage abilities to blend into their surroundings and evade predators. Now, social cooperation. Some animals employ teamwork. See how good these animals are? And collective vigilance to protect themselves and their young. I have as I said earlier, such an extreme appreciation for mother animals and father animals, how they protect their young. It's almost at that point the only thing they know what to do. Now, extreme environments, adapting to impossible. For example, Arctic animals surviving the frigid Arctic requires specialized adaptations such as thick blubber. I don't have thick blubber, but you know what I'm talking about. And efficient energy conservation. I mean, they're in the cold, it's windy, it's snowy, but they're built to be in that type of weather. Now, desert dwellers, a lot of heat. It's like with anything, when it's 98 degrees here in Florida, you kind of go, oh, I wish it was cooler. And then when in the winter, we have some real cool weather in like the 40s. That's interesting too, because we are not used to it. And that's the whole issue with the animals being, in a lot of cases, ready to handle the problem. Now, animals in the arid regions have developed unique ways to cope with extreme heat, limited water resources, and harsh conditions. Deep sea creatures, the depths of the ocean present unique challenges leading to incredible adaptations like bioluminescence science and specialized feeding mechanisms. I know we get into, and I'm not getting into religious issues, but you've got to try to understand where all we come from and how we are geared up to handle what is facing us. Pretty darn cool. Now, talking about human influence, how we impact animal behavior. And, unfortunately, a very common theme that I talk about is habitat loss and fragmentation. Humans are altering animal habitats, forcing them to adapt to a new challenging environments. Then we have climate change, changing weather patterns, rising sea levels, and more extreme events are impacting animal behavior and survival. Human-wildlife conflicts. I mean, there's a whole list of things you say, wow, never thought of this before. As human populations grow, interaction with wildlife are increasing, leading to both conflict and opportunity for conservation. Now, talking about conservation, protecting animal resilience, understanding animal behavior. Research on animal behavior provides critical insights and helps inform conservation efforts. Habitat restoration and protection. Again, the fires in LA. You know how much trees and land was damaged. I mean, it's really scary, and I'm every day I'm very sorry for everything that people out there and animals are going through. Now, conserving natural habitats is essential for maintaining animal population and their resilience. Community engagement, involving local communities in conservation efforts, is crucial for protecting wildlife and promoting sustainable practices. So, the point here is that we need to try and help our animals getting through any of this issues. You would hear, and I'm sorry I keep talking about the LA fires, but that's the closest time period of, unfortunately, would have been such a scary process. And so many people, and I would be the first in line, so many people would basically, go back for their animals. and it might be where you might say, why didn't they take him in the first place? I get that. But for some reason, fear or not even being home is another good reason why you'd be saying, I've got to go back to my home, whether it's there or not. I have to try to see if I can save my animals. Losing an animal, a child, a loved one, in any calamity like this is scary, scary, scary. I want to thank you for being here. And on my channel, you will see a podcast, an audio podcast. I mean, what we're looking at now, or you're looking at now, and thank you again for being here, is, I'd call it an audio podcast. Voice, audio, and video. Now, a pure podcast is just audio. Now, what I always put forth related to this, in this case, this topic, the science of fear, animal behavior in extreme situations, I put together an audio podcast that goes into other issues that I didn't go into, other ideas, other things that might explain things a little bit better. So if you can, besides staying here, and thank you for being here for the end, if you can, it's going to be ending shortly. Try to catch the podcast when you get a chance. And, you can listen to podcasts in your car, pretty much any source, radio, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you. I want to say how much I appreciate you being here, and I want you to have the best day possible. And thank you again, and please be well.